This stars is saying in my part of the world. Welcome me to this tutorial on video editing in Blender. I trust you're well and interested in learning how to use the Blender VSE. If you have followed the previous foundation videos, you'll now be able to create, edit, transition, zoom and move the focus of a video. In this penultimate video of the foundation course, we'll finesse the strips by adjusting the volumes and correct any colour imbalance. To ensure we don't actually adjust to the strips we have been working so hard on, we'll group them together and then lock them from accidental changes. As a bonus, at the end of the video I will show you a complete list of the shortcuts we have used.
Previous lessons in this foundation course, we imported some video strips, some music, did some speed controls and colours to our rendering section, and we made a flying saucer literally fly across the Cornish landscape. We're almost ready to export this now, but with some final checks on the volumes across the strips, any colour adjustments we need to make. Then we'll lock these strips and save this file. Before we do that, there's a couple of little setups I'd like to do. Top right hand corner there is a tiny little arrow. Drop that down. We can set the waveform to on, full, so we can see both the up and down waveforms across the green strips. Though my thumbnails currently aren't showing, I tend not to like thumbnails, so I turn those off. Now we've done all our audio editing already in Audacity, which is far better at managing audio. It's a specialist piece of software. If you haven't seen the video on audio editing in Audacity, then the card is up above. I'm going to click on this strip here, which is my music. What we can do is we can adjust the volumes to that if we want. Here we've got the volume control and we can slide that up and slide it down, and look, it's gone red. That means that we're losing the top sound of this strip. So you need to pull it back now till it stops going red, otherwise it's going to sound horrible, which is actually fully loud. But you can go through all your audio strips and adjust the volumes. Some areas a bit quieter than you want, some areas a bit louder. You can adjust those volumes. Remember, you can do keyframes, volume change a part of a strip if you need to. There are some things called modifiers you can apply to strips. So if we go to the modifier tab one, which is here, you can add modifiers. There are only three. Sound equalizer we've already done in Audacity. Pitch, you can adjust if you want. You need to be careful with pitch. You can set it on semitones or you can set it on ratio, which is slightly easier to use. So let's do some pitch control on this strip here. Modifier, pitch control. Let's change the pitch up a bit. And if you go too far,
you end up sounding like Mickey Mouse.
If you go too low,
you end up sounding like Darth Vader.
You probably just want to do small adjustments. So 0.9 to 1.1 is all you need to do. There is another modifier here that you could use, which is echo. I've got no reason why you don't want to do that. You can set your delay and your feedback. You need to do small adjustments. You get a little bit of reverb going on. If not, it sounds revolting. So go through all your strips one by one, adjust the volume level as required just to make it sound good. We can also do the same for the video strips. We need to go through those and adjust the color temperatures, etc. So we click on a video strip, we go to strip. What options do we have? We have some options here about color. We can adjust the saturation of the strip. Up or down. So you can make it fully black and white if you take to 0. You can make it quite garish. Take it up high. And we can either do this as a multiply or not. If you do multiply, it really does move very quickly. Subtle effects just to make it look right, unless you're going for a really garish look, but that's your choice. So those are the color control options. Go through each of the strip and just adjust the color if it's slightly out. One's a bit redder than the other. The other way of doing it, as we did with sound, is to add modifiers. And there are a lot more modifiers in this area than you'd expect. You've got brightness and contrast, which is also very useful. So you can adjust your brightness up and down. Some areas a bit black, a bit darker than others. And you can do the same with the contrast. This is rather similar to those photo editing software you're probably used to. So what other modifiers are there? Color balance. I prefer this one. This is the one I tend to use most. Lift adjusts the color in the shadow areas. Gamma adjusts the midtones, and gain adjusts the highlights. You've got a lot of control about darkness and light in these, and you can clearly subtly move things, or you can make it quite severe. That is very similar to the effect we did when we did our color strip above our render section. It's got that greeny tint to it. So other ways of doing stuff. Other modifiers we have curves, where you can adjust the whole curve. This is the color, red, green. This is all of them, sorry, red, green and blue. So we could just adjust the red if we wanted to and adjust the color curve. I tend not to use this one. We're doing the hue, saturation and value, HSV. So currently on saturation, I could change that to value if we want. So you could go through each one as you want and adjust the color to make it look right. Let us imagine that this strip here is split into lots of sections, because we've cut out some bits that aren't necessary. So let's we'll put some cuts in here. Now, if you wanted to color correct all three of these, you've got to color correct the first one, then the second one, and the third one. It's an easy way of doing it, which is to add an adjustment layer. So we can do add adjustment layer, put that there. As always, Blender's made it tiny. And if you look at the adjustment layer, you've got exactly the same modifiers. So we can add these as well. Color balance, as I said, is the one I prefer. Then you can adjust these as you see fit. It's going to apply to all of those. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You can do it how you like. I like doing it this way because it's quite obvious to me then when I review this edit anytime, there's an adjustment layer and it's got something attached to it. Whereas if you embed in the modifiers in the video strips, it's less obvious that you've made a change. Delete that because I don't really want to adjust it. Okay, the final sections, you've gone through all the music and adjusted the volumes, you've gone through all the video strips and you've adjusted the color, is we need to save this and lock it away. Now, there are a number of ways of doing this. We could lock an individual channel. So channel 6 is now locked and you can see it's hashed. I could lock channel 3, for example, and of course it's done this section and this section. If you set your videos up in a stepwise formation, so each strip is a higher channel than one before, that's not a problem. I tend to keep mine quite close together, minimizing the number of channels I use, so that's a bit confusing, I think. The other way is to select a group that you want to lock. So let's box select those ones, for example, they're all highlighted. You can go strip, lock strips, and now they're hashed out. So I cannot now cut in these. If I try and do a cut, it won't let me. If I try to move it, it won't let me. What it will do, and I think this is unfortunate, is if I delete it, it deletes. So it's locked, but it's not locked from deletion. Blender, if you're listening, can you make lock stop you from deleting it as well, please? So we're now ready to render our tutorial out. So we can do render animation. You don't need to leave this screen open. You can actually minimize it if you wanted to, and you can see the progress down the bottom. Okay, so it's rendered out. That concludes the main part of this foundation course. In the next tutorial, we'll look at how to speed up the editing process by reformatting the screen and some shortcuts and stuff.
We have a bonus at the end, which is a list of shortcuts which you will find extremely useful, so please stay and watch that. If you found this video useful, then I would appreciate it if you could like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe. And now for a bonus section. General properties include N to bring up the properties menu, Shift A to add a strip or add a node, A to select all, Shift D to duplicate a strip, Home to view all. In a sequencer, we can use the arrow keys to step one frame to left or right. Shift arrow will jump to the start or the end. Page up or page down will jump to the previous or next strip. Shift S snaps to the playhead. Numpad 0 goes to the playhead. Numpad dot will frame the selected strip. K to soft cut. Shift K gives us a hard cut. Backspace allows us to remove the gaps. P allows us to box select a range to preview, and Alt P will remove that selection. M for a marker and F2 to rename. The preview pane, G, will allow us to grab to move an object, but G with an X or G with a Y just limit it to that direction. S to scale, R to rotate, I to insert a keyframe. The dope sheet arrows will select the previous or next keyframe. On Alt I allows us to delete a keyframe. And the compositor, Control and the mouse move will move the connection. Control drag will allow us to cut a noodle. To see the next video in the series, click on this link.